you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? It has been so long since I've had a sit-down video with you guys. I'm going to do a story time. I miss doing YouTube so much. It's been a really long time for various reasons. I recently moved, as you saw in my update video. I recently lost my grandma, which you wouldn't necessarily know if you didn't watch the celebrating her life video. It's more of like a video for my family, so you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. But yeah, I had a really busy summer and had some good memories. I also posted a summer 2017 recap and also some rough times. So regardless, I promised you guys this video a very long time ago. It took me a lot to sit down and actually film this a couple of times. I sat down to film this one 2 or 3 times and I just didn't know how to put it into words. I actually messaged my ex to see what he had to say about it. So without further ado, this is a story about 5 years of my life with Mr. Wrong. So we're gonna call this guy Peter. Peter and I met in, I don't know what year, but we were in grade 10. We had history class together, so we knew each other all of high school, and we always passed each other in the hallways, and I would always like kind of smile at him. He would smile at me. He always had these big headphones on. I always told him that that was like my favorite thing when we were dating. Before we were dating, because I kind of had a crush on him on high school. But we were always just acquaintances in high school. He was like mysterious and kind of quiet and kind of shy, and I was like all outgoing and out there. So our group of friends probably never, you know, ran into each other to be friends until the summer of 2011, which was my 18th birthday in September of 2011. And I was actually seeing this other guy who had a birthday the day after mine. So we thought, what better way to celebrate our 18th birthday than throwing a bush party? Yes, you might not have heard what this is before, but if you don't know what a bush party is, it's basically a party you throw in the forest. Make a bonfire, you take booze there, and you kind of hide out deep in the forest so you can party. So we gathered what must have been like 80 people to this bush party, and there was so many people there, including Peter. Peter's birthday was actually a day before mine, so we were also celebrating his birthday. I remember being so drunk that I was drinking out of a bottle of rum, and then I gave it to my friend, and I was like, keep this, do not give it back to me. Only to go back to her 10 minutes later accusing her of taking the bottle from me. However, this was kind of a sad time for me because my mom was away in Venezuela taking care of my grandma. It was the first time she had went away, and she was gone for about a month or 2, and I was really upset that she didn't get to spend my birthday with me. So there was a moment where I just like went away from the group and kind of just went for a walk in the dark, away from the fire. I was kind of just thinking to myself and crying and being sad that my mom wasn't here. I didn't feel like I was turning 18 because my mom wasn't here. And then one of my friends found me and came up to me and said, no, come back to the party. You don't have to be sad. She will want you to celebrate and be happy on her birthday. So I did. I went back to the group, and the first thing I see when I go back to the group, right in front of the fire, just staring at the fire ever so mystically, Peter. I go up to him, I sit on his lap. Who knows what we were talking about, but I remember I was showing him because September was pretty cold back then. I don't know why. It was a cold September night. So I was wearing 3 layers, and I remember showing him like, look how many layers I'm wearing. And so on and so forth. And I swore I was gonna stay at a hotel that night because there was a tent there that someone brought, but I was like, I'm not staying in that tent. I'm gonna go to a hotel for my birthday. I'm gonna turn up. Well, we didn't say turn up back in the day. We would say, I'm gonna get smashed. Pretty sure nowadays that means like getting punched in the face. Long story short, about that night, I ended up staying in that tent with Peter. Figure it out. No, I did not sleep with him, but things happened. It was also that night that I figured out that I wasn't really into the guy I was seeing in the first place. But I was young, I was free, I had just come out of like a week or 2 long relationship with a guy that was like lying to me. So I wasn't really taking anything seriously. I was just having fun and being young. So a month rolls by and I'm still hanging out and talking to Peter. He's helping me with my homework. He helped me memorize like bones because I had like a health class at the time. I was taking a victory lap of high school. I stayed an extra semester because I failed some classes, so I was just taking extra classes to finish high school, and he was in college. Honestly, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, no, this guy just wants to be friends with benefits or something. Even though at the time I didn't really know what that felt like because I was a virgin. So after a month goes by, he tells me he loves me. This was literally me. Aw, really? Thanks. And then a couple days later he asked me out and I said yes. This was the first boyfriend that I ever had that lasted so long up until the March of the next year in 2012. We had a pretty good relationship for 18-year-olds and we didn't really argue, but He was very indecisive and didn't really know what he wanted, which is what it came to that March of 2012. He basically told me, I don't know what I want, and was like crying to me and just was confused in life. So I was like, well, if you don't want me, I don't want you. So we broke up, and I got really drunk that summer. I remember I was getting ready for my 19th birthday, like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to legally drink soon. And of course, September rolls around, when it all started a year before. I message him, I say happy birthday, he messages me the next day, he says happy birthday, and so on. We got back together. What a great excuse to get back together. Birthdays. The year before, we had gone to a friend's Halloween party, but this year we were gonna host our own Halloween party. He was Croatian, so his parents left to Croatia and weren't gonna be back till November. So we threw a Halloween party. We were like the power couple hosting this awesome Halloween party. Everyone showed up, everyone got really drunk, and I was just like, this is how life is supposed to be, until November rolled around. His parents came back and he dumped me. This is when I learned that his decision to be with me or not depended a little bit on his parents. They wanted him to look for a little Croatian girl. They didn't want Spanish little me, who was going for early childhood education in college. I don't know, I wasn't good enough for them, I guess. They didn't act like it towards me, they were very nice, but I guess they would brainwash him, telling him like, you shouldn't have a girlfriend right now, and if you do, it should be a Croatian girl. So that really hurt me, because here's this guy that I'm in love with, and he's being told by his parents that he shouldn't be with me. I remember being so upset. I ran down the street to my best friend's house at the time and just bawled my eyes out and told her he broke up with me and I don't know what to do, and I was just so sad. And then December rolls around, the holidays, and we couldn't help but to say Merry Christmas to each other, and that's where it started all over again. I cringe at how many times we went back to each other, but anyways, we didn't start dating again officially, but we were seeing each other and, you know, acting like a couple but not putting a label on it. And I was 19, so I was partying, I was doing my thing. It was becoming a little bit easier to be with him or not. Like, it was starting to not really make a difference. I loved him and I really wanted to be with him, and that's all I wanted, but I was starting to rebel, if you want to call it. So then February rolls around and it's Valentine's Day. I didn't know how much our relationship was based on holidays, but anyways, Valentine's Day rolls around and he said happy Valentine's Day to me but didn't make any plans, and I was not happy about that, because yeah, we weren't official, but we knew that we loved each other, so you should be getting me some chocolates at least. So after a night of belligerent drinking for me, I went to his house and literally asked him, like, what do you want? What are you doing with me? Like, this is pointless. And again, he was like, I'm not sure, like, I like being with you, but I like not being with you, and it's like, what? So once again, unofficial breakup of 2013. That one was a little bit mutual because I left really pissed off. So we both were like, bye, Felicia. And I went on about my life and again was going out, drinking, doing all that stuff to try to forget about it. And one of my friends introduced me to a Serbian guy, because at the time, yeah, Croatians and Serbians were my thing. It was like, Europeans for me, yes please. I was seeing him for 2 to 3 months. I don't remember how long, but he ended up being a douchebag. But that's another story for another time. 2013 was the year that my parents split. So when that happened, I couldn't think of anyone better to talk to about it than my ex. He knew my family very well. He was exposed to my family way more than any of my other friends had been, so I messaged him and he was there for me. We coped over it, and again, 2013, what was it? May 2013 we got back together, and we told each other we never want to lose each other again, and blah 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 blah. We told each other it was for real this time, like, this is it, we're growing up, we were gonna be 20 that year. So yeah, I basically asked him out that time because we were gonna go to my cousin's wedding that summer, and I said, I'm gonna introduce you as my boyfriend because this is the thing. And he was like, alright. We were just comfortable, honestly. The whole relationship was just being comfortable. We knew each other really well. We were growing up together, so it was just our safe spot to be together. So 2013, in September, I started my second last semester of college, which was a really stressful time for me. I was almost at the finish line. He had already graduated, I think, but I missed his graduation because we were broken up. But anyways, he was there for me, he helped me through it and everything. And through this whole time, I never had a car. Like, I only got a car last year. So the whole time he was the one with the car since we were 18, and he would drive me around and, you know, we would go places and he would take me out and stuff. That December of 2013, I went to Venezuela for the first time since I had been born there. and left after I was like 4 or 5. So I went for a 2-week vacation during my break of school. When I came back, I just came back with a brand new perspective, and I just opened my eyes and realized, like, this guy loves me, but he doesn't care about me necessarily. I think he was feeling the same way. So basically when I got back, a couple days later, we didn't talk much when I was in Venezuela, so when I got back, I just knew it was not gonna be the same. And he came over, I remember I was like, chilling on my couch like this. No, just kidding. I wasn't laying back like that, but I was actually just like filing my nails, and like he came over so that we could talk, and I knew it was gonna happen, so I was like, whatever. He was crying to me, saying that he didn't know what he wanted to do again. He was very indecisive, didn't want to commit. He said he wanted to work on himself. So we broke up, and I was honestly like, okay, this is it. I'm never getting back with him ever again. This needs to stop. This is ridiculous. We're going back and forth, like we're going nowhere fast. I need to enjoy my life and love my damn self. We had so many good memories with friends. We had the same group of friends, so that was kind of hard. We had gone to Canada's Wonderland. We took a bunch of trips, and it was great to remember, but I was like, okay, I need to move on. So I really, really tried to, and failed. Because the summer of 2014, if you watched my I caught my abusive boyfriend cheating video, you would know that I dated a douchebag trying to get over my ex. So we were separated for a year. We broke up in January of 2014, and then after the musician and I broke up in 2015, at the beginning of the year, me and my ex went to a trip to Punta Cana and got back together. He was there for me. It wasn't weird. It wasn't like a rebound. It was more of like he was an actual friend to me before we got back together, and I thought that was really nice of him, because no ex would do that. They'd just be like, well, screw you, you were the one who left me. But no, he was like really genuinely kind and there for me. So we went on our first vacation, got back together, and spent the rest of 2015 and half of 2016 together, working on ourselves and just growing up. Like, this is coming up to recently now, like last year kind of thing. And the point when it started going downhill was when I had a pregnancy scare. When we were in Punta Cana, I asked him if that ever were to happen, if we ever had an accident, would he marry me? Because he knows that I don't believe in kids before marriage, just for myself personally, not for anyone else. Like, if you do that, cool, that's your life. But me personally, I don't want to have kids before marriage. And within a heartbeat, he was like, yes, I would. Like, I would be there for you, I would be there for my kid. Like, that was his answer. He was so sure about it, and he was so confident about it. But then when it actually happened, I didn't actually have a kid, but there was a scare, he was like, I'm not ready for marriage, and I'm not ready for kids, and my parents are gonna kill me, and blah, 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 blah. And he was just being so selfish in the way he was talking to me about it, and made me feel 10 times worse instead of being there for me and making me feel better. And that was March of last year, 2016, when it all really started deteriorating, and we weren't sure about each other. Like, I felt like I was dating someone I barely even knew, but I still loved him, and he still loved me, and we were still trying to figure it out, even though we were arguing all the time after that. It got to the point that he got curious of like what else is out there, and he started telling me that he kind of wanted to see other people and stuff. And honestly, I was so, I don't want to say desperate, but I wanted to work it out so bad that I offered him to like have a 3-way relationship, literally. So like, I don't know if you would classify that as like an open relationship, but it was more of like a, let's get a unicorn. If you don't know what a unicorn is, it's a third person, usually a girl, in a relationship that is literally the third person. Like, she's not interfering with the relationship, she's just there for, I guess, for us at the time, it was like more of an attraction thing and to try things out, blah, 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 you know what I mean. So we were actively looking for a unicorn. I never thought I'd say that. We literally got to know this one girl, and she was really nice, and we were messaging back and forth, and then I met her, and she wanted to meet him, and then she was gonna meet both of us, kind of thing. That was my first time I went on a date with a girl for the purpose of saving the relationship. And if you think another person's gonna save your relationship, you're wrong. This didn't end up going anywhere. Like, the girl didn't end up liking me, I guess. She said I wasn't her type, so she didn't go forward to meet him or like the both of us. She just like went on the date with me and was like, no, I'm okay, kind of thing. So we're like, okay, this is not gonna work. So then we were so lost in what we wanted to do that honestly I just introduced the idea of going to therapy. He laughed it off, he thought I was crazy, he whatever, but I pushed and pushed and pushed until I convinced him, like, okay, let's see how this goes. We went to relationship therapy, and I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend it. Even if you have a good relationship, oh my goodness, that stuff, for lack of a better word, does wonders. Not only for the relationship or not relationship, but for yourself. You learn so much about yourself and how to improve and what are the things you need to work on and how to work on them in order to ultimately become a better person. I know I sound preachy right now, but you really don't know what it's like until you go, and it's life-changing. It's honestly, amazing. So we went together one time, and then I went individually, and then he went individually, and then we were supposed to come back together. What we found out was basically that we had different desires. The therapist made us go on 5 love languages, which I also strongly recommend. Just Google it and you'll find out the types of ways you most like to be loved, as well as your partner, and it just helps you know how to love each other, basically. What it came down to was that yes, we loved each other, but we didn't know how, and we didn't want to love each other the way we wanted to be loved. We weren't compatible. And hearing that after 5 years was like, what? I remember it feeling like just a roller coaster of emotions. I was upset, I was angry, I was like, no, therapy was supposed to fix us, not break us. Like, this is not what I wanted. But at the same time, it all made sense. I knew it was true, I knew it was real. The therapist wasn't just making this up, because we did the work ourselves and found that out for ourselves. And I don't know how I didn't figure this out on my own. Like, it really frustrated me, certain things he did, and the main one was basically attention. I'd like to say that I require a normal amount of attention, maybe a little bit more than normal. I do like my snuggles, and I do like, you know, spending time together, whereas he did not. He was the type of person who would call me needy. He was also the type of person to be able to go a week or 2 without texting me. That's not being needy. There's a difference between expecting someone to give you happiness and expecting someone to give you attention and affection and show you that they care, which I really didn't feel he did, and it was just right there in front of my eyes. Like, it made so much sense. I never got any type of reassurance of how he truly felt about me. I always tried to make him explain and make him tell me, and like, you can't make someone love you the way you want them to love you. And that's the biggest thing I learned with him and with therapy. I lived a life with him of just asking him or myself, like, when am I gonna get attention? When do you have time to pay attention to me? When am I gonna get a nice message? When am I gonna get a gift? He never really got me any gifts. And that sounds bougie, but it's actually one of the types of loves to be loved or whatever. One of the love languages, per se. And here I was feeling like it was all my fault, like I was the needy one and I was the one who needed too much and I expected too much and I was just not normal, when really everyone is different in how much attention they want and how much space they need, which was him. And that was something that we were never gonna be able to change. You can't change that much for someone. It was a weird feeling to learn this, because it was like I was relieved to finally have an answer that was real and made sense and had backup behind it, but at the same time, it was to me like a crushed dream. I thought we were going to be high school sweethearts and spend the rest of our lives together, get married, have kids. The next step was going to be moving in together, and that was coming up very soon. We were literally that couple that everyone said, you guys are still together? So it was really hard for me to get through, especially because this was shortly after, if you saw how I lost my best friend's video. I had literally lost everyone in my life, and then I had lost what I thought was the love of my life. But at the end of the day, after 5 years of thinking that no one could ever love me better or for a longer period of time, I realized finally, for the first time in my life, yeah, someone does. And that someone was me. I spent an entire month, and I'm so blessed to have done this and have realized that this is what I needed to do. I remember I went to therapy a little bit after the breakup, the official breakup. We literally broke up in front of the therapist. She made us do it because she knew it's what we wanted to do. I went to individual therapy once or twice after that, just to kind of move on and see what I need to do. And I remember these words will always stick with me that she said. She asked me, how are you getting through this? And I said, on my own. And she said, not with your family, not with your friends, all alone in the world? Yeah. Yeah. That was the first time in my life that I was okay being on my own, and that was one of the problems with being with my ex. I depended on him a lot for company, and I didn't take the time to just love myself and be happy with being on my own because I was always surrounded by friends and him and family. I took the time out of my life, 1 straight month, all on my own, doing the things I love. I did a lot of YouTube videos, I did a lot of makeup pictures that I posted on Instagram, I did yoga, I did not go out drinking, I just did things that I truly enjoyed and that made my soul happy. And when I finally took the time to take care of myself and I was finally glad and proud to say that I make myself happy and no one else can do that for me, the most amazing man that I've ever met in my entire life came into my life, and here I am in his house, moved in a year later. Funny how that happens. But I basically just wanted to film this video to let you guys know how that happened. That chapter in my life changed me a lot and I learned a lot about myself, and so did he, and I wish him all the best. He's a great person, he just wasn't the person for me, and we are both aware of that. That's one of the things he said when I messaged him asking him how I should go about this video. He said the same thing about me. He said that like I was an amazing person but that we weren't for each other. He sent me a really nice message after we broke up saying that I'm gonna be like the best wife and the best mother to my kids in the future, and he was really drunk but like he was just being really honest, saying that he's always gonna have a place in his heart for me and all that stuff, because it's like he was my first love and I was his, so, and we lost our virginities to each other. Nothing's ever gonna change that, but at the same time it's like, just thank you for what you taught me, thank you for being there, thank you for everything. I have no regrets. As much as we hurt each other, as much as we were confused, as much as we were lost and tried all sorts of things to work out, we learned so much about each other, about ourselves, and what we really wanted in life and out of a partner. And I also wanted to film this video for anyone who feels like they may be stuck and they might be doing this back and forth thing. Like, it's not the only option. That sounds really bad, but it's like, you can be stuck in a mind state of like, this is the love of my life, this is the person I'm gonna be with, and it might not be. So just think about that when you're really wrapped up in feelings instead of logic. There is someone out there that will treat you the way you want to be treated and love you the way you need to be loved. I have thankfully found that person, I think. No, just kidding. I love him to death and I wouldn't rather be waking up to anyone else every single day of my life so far. I always tell him that if we ever break up, I would look for someone like him. So yeah, that is the story about 5 years with Mr. Wrong, if you were wondering. I love you guys so much. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.